Tom Maoli owns Celebrity Motor Cars Company in New Jersey. He is a friend of President Trump's, serving on his finance committee during the campaign and on the transition team. So, Tom, a pleasure. Thanks for coming to CNN.
Thanks for having me on.
So, you're buddies with President Trump.
Yes.
You're in contact with him often.
Yes.
We have talked a lot since this news broke on Friday about how important Mexico is for the U.S. auto industry.
It is so important.
You're a car guy. How much is this going to affect you?
It's going to affect me, but it's going to affect the consumers. The consumers are ultimately the ones that are going to pay the price for this. And, you know, it's interesting because you're talking about 70% of the wiring harnesses that are produced for an automobile are produced in Mexico. We're talking about shutting down assembly lines, putting people out of work. You know, the interesting part about this is it's going to drive the price of a U.S. car, of a domestic car, up
$1,300.
Yeah, $1,300, up to $3,000. When the reality is he's actually going to drive people to buy foreign cars because it's going to be less costly. Their products are not produced in Mexico.
So I'm hearing you correctly. Your friend, the president, is making a mistake.
No, I don't think he's making a mistake. I think this is a negotiating tactic. I think he's done his job. He's getting them to the table. Listen,
but I just read the quote that you know the White House is saying he is deadly serious on this. Do you think they're just bluffing?
No, he's deadly serious, but he's already has them to the table. I think he can implement 5% to put pressure on them to get them to shut down the borders. But I think when it goes further than that, he's going to start damaging the economy. I think he's very smart. He's not going to damage the economy. He knows what he's doing. It's a balance, and he's already done his job. He's got them to the table. And listen, national security is number one. I have 2 daughters. I will bet my business over. I'll take security over my business.
What does the tariffs have to do with immigration?
Well, one has nothing to do with the other, but he needs a lever.
But he's trying to tie the two together.
He's trying to tie the two together because he needs a lever. You know, when you drive down the highway and you do 100 miles an hour, they give you a ticket for a reason. There's a financial penalty. He's imposing a financial penalty to get them to do something. He already has them to the table. I think he's going to succeed.
So you see it as a threat?
I see it as a threat. I think he will implement it if he has to implement it, but I think he will get them to the table. They're going to react. There's no way that they're going to want to lose this kind of business. We have too much power over the country.
You told me in commercial break that you're in touch with the president. Have you talked to him about this? Have you tried talking him out of it?
I have not discussed the tariff issue with him at all.
Are you using television as a way to communicate to the president?
No, I'm sure that he's watching. You know, I was on several news stations the other day having the same conversation. I'm sure he's watching. He knows that I'm behind him. You know, he knows that I believe in what he's doing, and I think national security is number one. I think he has the right direction. Although these tariffs could be, he's walking a tightrope. It's very dangerous to our economy. You know, 30% of all car parts are produced in Mexico. You shut that down, you're talking about assembly lines, you're talking about employment shut down, your car dealerships, transportation, it's major.
Yeah, and you can't just go somewhere else for the car parts. We've had that conversation.
Right.
It's incredibly complicated.
And you know, when people aren't buying cars, they're fixing them, but you need parts to fix cars. They have to come from somewhere.
Tom Maoli, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.